I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
Surprise!
Avengers Endgame may have tied up a lot of loose ends in the MCU, but it left one huge dangling cliffhanger. And no, we're not talking about Black Widow literally hanging off of a cliff. Loki's grand escape back in the 2012 timeline was used to set up his own Disney Plus TV show, a show set to involve time travel and a whole lot of mischief. Thanks to the Superbowl sneak peek, we finally got a glimpse of the new Loki show, and while we didn't get to see much, we do have a pretty good idea of who will be chasing Loki through time. So let's speculate on the journey and showcase what heroes and villains may be joining him along the way.
I'm listening.
Marvel teasers often feel like puzzles that we get to unwrap frame by frame. For the Marvel TV show Superbowl commercial, there was a lot to unravel for other Disney Plus series like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier or WandaVision, but of course, Loki himself takes all the attention away with the final teaser. So here's a recap. Tom Hiddleston sits in a dark room and says, "I'm gonna burn this place to the ground." Yeah, wait, that's all?
Oh, yes.
Oh, let's run with that then. Okay, so there's truly one thing to focus on, besides Loki's shortened hair, the big logo on his jumpsuit, TVA. The TVA logo has deep roots in the world of Marvel Comics, and knowing what the TVA is will help showcase which direction the series plans to take when it debuts in 2021. The TVA stands for the Time Variance Authority. One of their goals is managing the multiverse and dealing with beings who decide to mess with the past or future. Enter Loki. No one quite knew where he was headed when he took the Space Stone during Avengers Endgame, but now we know he'll be going on some time-traveling adventures, including a stop back in 1975 when Jaws first debuted. We still don't know what his goals are other than to evade the Avengers, but we imagine he's going to have a lot of fun messing up some major events in world history and do something big enough to have the TVA step in. The Time Variance Authority actually debuted in a Thor comic book back in 1986, making the Loki connection even stronger to the history and lore of Marvel Comics. The first mission of the group was to stop Zaniac, a crazed entity who went after pretties and left a slew of bodies in his wake. Thor got involved with the issue and helped the TVA put a stop to Zaniac. Well, for the TVA's MCU debut, they will have to handle Loki, and clearly they are able to capture him at some point. With the TV show format of the Loki series, the TVA seems very familiar to the Time Masters Council or Time Bureau featured on the CW's Legends of Tomorrow. The main goal is to eliminate any timeline anomalies and prevent figures who try and disrupt various timelines. Only, while the Time Bureau featured characters like Rip Hunter and Ava Sharp, the comic book version of the TVA is made up of faceless agents known as the Chrono Monitors. If we do expect to see Loki go against some TVA agents, one of the more likely characters is Mobius M. Mobius. A senior management official of the TVA, Mobius serves as judge and jury to those convicted by the TVA. With the recent announcement of Owen Wilson joining the Loki cast, it looks like he could be taking on the role of Mobius or another upper-level member of the TVA. We cannot wait to see the dynamics and wordplay that Wilson and Hiddleston share. And with Wilson's comedic background, we have to wonder how light the tone will be for the time-traveling shenanigans. And while the TVA will be hot on the trail of Loki in the series, the group may help introduce other elements of the MCU as well. The first, the multiverse. Spider-Man Far From Home teased us with aspects of the multiverse thanks to the deception of Mysterio. But now we finally may see some full-fledged multiverse references. Loki is also confirmed to connect directly with the upcoming Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Maybe the actions of Loki and the TVA will create a rift in the multiverse and some type of crisis that the TVA reaches out to Doctor Strange for help with. While a Doctor Strange appearance would be fun and help connect to the broader movie world, Loki may showcase a character origin story in the form of She-Hulk. In the original Marvel Comics, She-Hulk didn't bust through time and cause destruction, she put her law skills to work, helping run court cases for the TVA. We can't imagine the Loki series being a major court drama, but a court case could serve as the storytelling arc for the series. Evidence of Loki's adventures could be presented in a trial as we flash back through all of his time-traveling journeys. And setting up the She-Hulk character would be a great way to introduce her and her origins before her solo series gets the green light on Disney+. Also known as Jennifer Walters, she is the cousin of Bruce Banner and gets her Hulk-like powers when Banner is forced to give her a blood transfusion to save her life. Once she formed into She-Hulk, she became comfortable with the size and strength while maintaining her intelligence, much like the Hulk portrayal we saw in Endgame. Anytime we have a chance for a Mark Ruffalo appearance, we'll take it, even if it's a quick flashback scene to showcase She-Hulk's origins. In her time working with the TVA, She-Hulk helped defeat the villain Clockwise, who could also end up appearing on the show. Like Loki and his Space Stone, Clockwise is another time-traveling villain, one who relies on dinosaurs to do his dirty work. Dinosaur battles may be a little too much for Loki's show, but Clockwise could serve as a great antagonist for Loki or She-Hulk to go up against. The biggest threat against Loki may not be a human at all. The TVA is known to have possession of the retroactive cannon, also dubbed as the Ret-Can. The weapon is one of the many ways the TVA is one of Marvel's most meta group of characters, something that we'll touch on in a moment. The Ret-Can has the ability to erase characters completely from history. It's like an execution on a much bigger scale. The person's birth and whole history would be erased from time. Essentially, Tom Hiddleston would not be appearing in Thor: Love and Thunder if Loki finds himself on the receiving end of the Ret-Can. Clockwise once gained possession of the Ret-Can, completely erasing heroes like Nightman and Dr. Rocket.
Who?
Exactly. That's just how powerful the Ret-Can is. The implementation of the TVA does make us wonder, why didn't the group try to stop the 2014 Thanos when he came to the future in Endgame? What could Loki be doing traveling through time that's worse than Thanos' giant army invading the Avengers base? Maybe the show will give us an answer, because Iron Man would still be alive if the TVA just used their Ret-Can on Thanos. So, while Loki has some great power with the Space Stone, the Ret-Can could become even more powerful if it gets into the wrong hands. The weapon could serve as a threat to Loki or be his goal in achieving anarchy. Imagine seeing Loki get the Ret-Can and have fun erasing Thor and the other Avengers from multiple timelines. Essentially, the Ret-Can will serve as the MacGuffin of the Loki series. And if you haven't figured it out already, the Ret-Can is a play on retcon, the common phrase used to describe when creators rewrite history to fit timelines, new stories, or character changes. The TVA is basically a meta way of changing Marvel history without the need for a reboot or obvious retcon that creates all kinds of plot holes. And we'll have to wonder how meta the whole series will get. Will they correct the weird timeline issues associated with Spider-Man Homecoming? Maybe we'll get to see how multiple timelines have splintered off of each other. Funnily, the character of Mobius M. Mobius and other similar TV clones were all modeled after Mark Gruenwald. The Marvel writer was known for his expertise in continuity and ensuring timelines matched up for the massive world of Marvel heroes. So by making Gruenwald the character model for TVA agents, we basically have a fictional version of a fact-checker roaming the pages of Marvel Comics, and eventually on the Loki TV series. So, not only will Loki be facing up against the TVA, but could we see the group appear in other Marvel projects? We already touched upon their likely appearance in the upcoming Doctor Strange sequel, but perhaps the TVA will go after Steve Rogers, huh? After he decided to stay back in time and get his dance? Just because he's not wreaking havoc like Loki doesn't mean Rogers is causing some major trouble. While Chris Evans probably won't return to the role as Rogers, we could get some fun references in the Loki series. A caseworker could mention the Rogers case, or we could see some type of agent tracking his timeline as a hidden Easter egg. We've already seen Loki transform into Rogers before, so another fun cameo wouldn't be too far out of the question. And if they cannot get Evans, maybe they'll toss some CG magic into the mix. From what we can tell from the WandaVision and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier preview, Marvel doesn't seem to be limiting the budget too much just because these MCU entries are television shows. So when we learn that Loki is going to be time traveling and the TVA are involved, expect a whole lot of fun. We will likely travel through all types of different time periods, possibly following Loki as he gets away and the TVA agents who try and track him down. One of the agents could be a character known as Justice Peace. Dressed similarly to Captain America, Peace travels through time using his cool ride known as the Hopsicle, something that would convert nicely into a live-action TV show vehicle. Plus, this is Disney and all. We would all love a slew of Justice League merchandise, including some action figures and toy Hopsicle vehicles. But we may be getting way ahead of ourselves. There's a ton more time and a lot more teasers of what's to come on Loki. we're still waiting for a full trailer where more of the details will likely get revealed. All we can say for sure is that the TVA will be involved, Loki gets captured by them, and he won't be happy about it. And as we've seen so many times before, there are not too many jail cells which can contain Loki for too long. We'll just have to wait and see how he escapes the TVA, and truly hope that he is not a victim of the Ret-Can.
When do we start?
So, are you excited to see the TVA in the MCU? What time periods do you want to see Loki visit? Should the show go on longer than 6 episodes? Would you want She-Hulk to make an appearance? Well, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant for more great content.